Among the biggest promises that we made, Koketso, was that we're going to use this platform to share information with the public, particularly those young people who want to venture into this economic space or the broader commerce space. So we are sharing about our journeys so that even those who do not have access to professionals in our field will now have access. They can share questions. And by the way, I need to tell you, I've received
quite a lot
positive feedback.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So
good.
Today we have a guest. We have an economist to help us advance that mission of sharing information to those who would otherwise not have access to it. Yeah. Who's our guest, Cookie?
I'm very excited. I'm so excited to present our guest for today. So it's somebody I've been knowing since 2011, my good friend, Nkhensani Mashimbyi. She is an agri-economist. How exciting is that?
Oh, Agricultural Economist #1. Talk about super smart people.
Yes. So we met at Dax, actually. So we all went to the University of Pretoria in 2011. But yeah, it's good that this is all sort of culminating in us being able to share our journeys on this platform and hopefully help some people out. We've already got a question on, does it make sense to go into agricultural economics? So we thought it would be great to bring Kensi in the camera to tell us a little bit more about it.
Please. So maybe, Kensi, would you like to introduce yourself just before we get into the meat of the discussion today?
Firstly, I'd just like to congratulate you on what you're doing. Really, it is needed for the broader South African economy. Looking at where the unemployment rate is, you cannot make your career decision very lightly. So this is good work that you're doing, and I feel very honored to be part of this conversation today and to
our
know
first
that
guest, by the way.
Our first
So I really do feel honored. I know you guys are going to go far, and I'm so excited to be part of this journey. I'm Nkhensani Mashimbyi, Agricultural Economist for one of the financial institutions in South Africa. So, okay, I'm not going to tell you my age. A woman never shares her age. But I am a mother of two. Basically, today, what I'm excited about is to tell you the reality of navigating a career as an agricultural economist and being basically very passionate about the field itself. So yeah, I enjoy reading and watching crime television.
Right. So Kensi, I think, I already know your story, but I think it's great if other people can also get to engage a little bit with where you come from, your upbringing, your schooling, career. Tell us a little bit about the roots of Nkhensani.
So Nkhensani, interestingly, went to one school that started as a primary school, but then got added to become a combined school. But that's just a long story to telling you. I come from a village.
One school as in primary.
It got amalgamated. Yeah. So my principal was very ambitious.
Okay.
He was a very ambitious man, and he said, you know what, I have a good vision, and for a village that usually doesn't have a set vision, we didn't have water, we didn't have textbooks. I think he had a good strategy, and I'm very proud to have gone through that journey in it's still called a primary school formally, but it's Mutwadini Combined School. That's where I went to school. I finished my matric then, and you would imagine the conversation then starts changing in grade 11 to say, okay, where do you want to take a career? And then, during our age, either you become a medical doctor, you become an engineer, because I chose science as a stream, interestingly. So economics was never what I wanted to, what I thought I would end up doing. But what I know for a fact and what informed where I am today is agriculture. So coming from a village, people always think of farmers as commercial producers, but we've always farmed, Our neighbors always had small units. They always had goats, they had pigs. My dad raised chickens. So that's what I knew, and that's what I gravitated towards. So I knew I wanted to do something in agriculture. And then the conversation started, and I said, is there an engineering that focuses on agriculture? Somehow I looked everywhere, and agricultural engineering, I couldn't find it. I don't know why, but through the conversation with the guy that was helping me then, we found Agricultural Economists and Economics. So I said, you know what, let me apply for that. And then I submitted my application to Stellenbosch University and UP. And I ended up with UP, and I think that was one of the best decisions of my life, because that's where I met Koki, that's where I met you. So yeah, that's how
so you
it came
consider
about.
meeting us the best.
I think you know, having that community, having those people that are rooting for you, a positive energy to keep you going, because you can imagine coming from a village, there are a few challenges that you navigate. I don't even want to get to how Koki and I got through all that journey, but it wasn't an easy one. But having that person to take you through some of the commercial subjects that I had never done. So, like I said, if we take it a step back, I did science. In my school, you couldn't combine the two. It's either you do physics and maths or accounting and economics.
So by science, you did physical science, life sciences, as well as mathematics. But now you're an economist.
Yes, now I'm an economist.
So those who've been wondering, maybe that's your sign. You can pivot.
Yes.
I'm not saying study economics, but I'm saying it's possible. We have somebody with a strong background in sciences, but now you are in economics. Well, agricultural economics.
Yes, BSc. So that also the combination of that in UP and Stellenbosch, offering that bit of, you know, you still do your chemistry, you still do your genetics. So I have that background. It is a BSc degree that I did. It is offered also as a BCom degree. I don't think there's really a difference after you graduate. It just offers that additional layer, plant production of knowledge. But I think you can do anything with the degree once you're done. So yeah, I really appreciated learning accounting for the first time in university. That was hard.
Yeah.
It was difficult, but yeah, we got through it because of the likes of Koki and the network that you built. So I've always had a good network around me of people to take me through that. So I really appreciated the journey.
Yeah, but maybe before we pause, sorry.
It's okay.
Mathematics. Still, we had that conversation before.
Yes.
If you want to be able to easily get into different areas or even fields in university, mathematics is a must.
Mathematics is a must. I'm glad that this now came from you guys, not from me.
Yeah, so the ability for me to pivot, as you say, was because I had mathematics.
So mathematics was the key. Thank you so much, Kensi and Kogi, for highlighting that issue of mathematics, that is quite important and it broadens your career choices. You can start off in physics, but as long as you have mathematics, you can go into almost any stream into the commerce field. But on your day-to-day job now, are you still saying mathematics is relevant? Do you think you would have survived without mathematics? Maybe if you had done, what do they call it now? I think now
Maths
they have
lit.
maths lit and technical maths. I think they have those two now.
I'm not quite familiar with those two types of mathematics, but I definitely know that for my work on a daily basis, it's quite analytic.
Yeah.
You don't talk about abstract situations. It's actual things that, you know, you sometimes have to use models for, you need to calculate. So it really does play a role on a day-to-day. I don't think, because if we think about it, your value prop is what you bring to the table in terms of your analysis. So that mathematics gives you that added layer to be able to analyze and bring an idea that's original, that is not regurgitated within the industry. You know, the phrases that are floating around, but what adds value as an economist is what are you seeing, and what do you think about the situation? And I think that comes from that mathematic background that I have. Yeah.
So it's not about numbers, it helps you think about problems that you can encounter on a more broader.
It's more than the
scale.
numbers. Yeah, it's problem solving. It's drawing from. You look at numbers and you see something that someone probably didn't see, and how do you translate that to inform a decision in another division based on where you are working?
So the background work is actually mathematics.
Yes,
because most of the time when we see economists like Nkhensani and Koketso on TV, they would not be talking about the square root or something. But the way that story is built, the way the connections are made in the background before you form your opinion, it has a lot to do with the mathematical skills.
Yes, it does.
Nkhensani, I think you mentioned something important that you started thinking about a lot of big career choices when you were in grade 11.
Yes.
But I would assume that, today it's better for a learner to start thinking about it from grade 9 or before, because grade 10, then you start specializing in whatever. Based on that, can you please tell us a bit about what you think is, the importance of career guidance?
Sure.
Do you think you would have turned out better in life if you had more guidance?
Yeah.
What's your view on that?
Sure, definitely. And I would bring it back to the context that I understand, which is a village setting. If you are in a situation where you don't have textbooks, the priority becomes how do we make sure that these learners have recopied the text? The career discussion really is a bit far removed. It feels rushed towards the end. But I do think what you mentioned about it starting a bit earlier, grade 8, grade 9, informs your decisions on the modules that you're gonna, or rather the subjects that you're gonna take forward. I think it's quite important to have that conversation before you choose your subjects. Do you want to go more into science? Do you want to do more commercial subjects? So definitely that would add value. How we get that to or roll it out to the schools in the remote areas, I'm not quite sure. But I think it's work worth doing. And I think the digital part, the fact that we have TikTok, we have learners that are exposed more to us in terms of technology, I think that would also help. It definitely will.
So videos like this are really a first step in towards that.
Definitely
like we
step in
said,
the right direction.
yeah. Those who would not have, a chance to speak to professionals, this is their chance to get from it. And we will continue trying to answer questions. So if you have any questions for Nkhensani, if you have any questions for Koketso, or you have questions for myself, please send them through. We'll try and answer all of them about careers, about the field of economics, or commerce in general.
100%.
And if you are a professional like us, please continue doing the work that you are doing in terms of empowering others. Taking your Saturday to talk to a group of grade 9 learners, it really, really makes a difference.
And I also just wanted to say, as we wrap up the career choice conversation, what I like about what Kenzie has said is, yes, she had chosen sciences at school, and maybe, yes, she would have maybe been better capacitated to make those choices even earlier had they had, these kind of conversations. But even with her choosing sciences, then she went on to study agri-economics. It just shows, like, as people, we need to remain agile.
Yes.
As you learn, as you're watching these videos, you're meeting different people, keep your mind open as to where you might end up at the end of the day. I don't think it's a good thing to be so stagnant or static, married to something that you chose when you were in grade 9.
Certainly.
So yes, the information is important, but also remain very agile as a person.
Couldn't agree more. There is a word that you used, Nkhensani, that just got me excited. Community. And that was when we were talking about us as a group here knowing each other since back in the days.
Definitely.
You guys started, I think, your tertiary education in 2011 or so, but I won't mention when I started it because then I'd look like the ancestor in the room. But over 10 years down the line, we are sitting around the same table. we are working for different institutions, regulatory firms, financial firms, a whole lot.
Yes.
What I'm seeing here is the importance of not burning bridges, especially in the field that we're working in, because it's so niche. I think it's so, when they say the world is small,
Yeah.
for economists the world is smaller, because you would be surprised that people that you always meet into. I always thought this is a South African thing, but now it's a global thing. As we stand, I mean, there are people that I've worked with in the past who are now in the IMF or things like that. So if I burn bridges, if I create enemies, if I'm nasty to people, or if I'm lazy and I don't put my best foot forward, it's gonna come back to bite me.
Definitely.
I don't know if you guys agree on this thing of building communities, not burning bridges,
Yeah.
unless if it's absolutely necessary.
No,
But
it really, as you mentioned, I'm an agricultural economist.
yes,
It's so broad in itself that you can't know everything. We understand we're sitting with some of the greatest minds in this room, but things change so quickly that you always lean on someone else. You always lean, either be data, opportunities, conversations, connecting you with that person in IMF, to have an extra view. So it's very important to always create a community wherever you are, be it in the field that you are in, or when you're navigating your career in that dorm, in res, build that connection and always have respect for everyone that you encounter, because you never know how life unfolds. You always you find that you need something from someone who you perhaps maybe underestimated, and I really don't stand with underestimating people, because this is a little girl from a village that we're speaking to today, we
and
come
look
from
at you now.
we
Well,
come from
no,
different backgrounds. So it's very important to always maintain and be intentional about creating that community. And I love what you said about being lazy as well. So in that connection, add value as well. What do you bring? Don't always be the taker, taking notes from everyone else. Always try to learn and give back within the connections as well. So yeah, I definitely agree with maintaining a community.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't think I can stress this point enough, because we are sitting and chatting like this. I might be in an interview for a job soon, and I find either of you in the panel.
Yes.
Yeah, it's quite important. I'm tempted now to share a lot of stories. For those who don't know, one of the sectors that I look at from time to time is agriculture. And having an agricultural economist literally a WhatsApp away, it helps. I've leveraged on Nkhensani, saying that I don't know where this prices are going and I need to write something about it. So it was very easy for me to reach out, unlike having to search 5,000 articles to get the answers. I've also reached out to you in almost anything.
We all have.
We all have, right? That's what I said. In almost anything. Inflation, labor, when the numbers are just not adding up and you want to really understand things, we reach out to each other and to see, am I still thinking correctly? Am I still viewing this correctly? So I think that's important. Community is important.
And I think the most important thing for me for having a community is not only when you don't understand the other person's expertise or you wanting information, but it's also to just refine yourself.
Yes.
Because I feel like we all know as economists you need to stand on the shoulders of giants. So it's only when you communicate with other people, like you're saying, bounce your ideas with other people, that you get better. And Nkhensani may have a better way of saying the same thing, and I need to be able to leverage off of that.
Certainly.
So, yeah.
Definitely.
So Nkhensani, we went to varsity together, so I know a lot of the stories. The most fascinating story that I can tell about Kensi during our varsity times. This girl is a hard worker.
Okay.
You have not met a person who's more hardworking than Kensi.
Okay. If Koketso says you're a hard worker, then it means because she's like.
No. I mean, varsity. I used to sleep during varsity, guys. I was the sleepist.
You had time to do that.
I had time to sleep. I gave myself time to sleep. Or sometimes I just got so stressed that I gave up and I went to bed.
And it means you're a genius. And
Hell
Yeah,
no.
it's
Hell no.
That I know.
But Kenzie would pull all-nighters,
All
She
night,
would-
like,
she would study all night. She had her feet in water, cold water, to make sure that she can study on. This girl is on another level. So anyway,
cold water.
Cold water.
inspire.
Do you still do that?
I don't do that anymore. I'm able to, you learn, you're able to motivate yourself internally now. Find ways that,
What module was it?
I think it was chemistry or something.
Yeah,
ne?
chemistry one.
Oh, okay.
It was.
Yeah.
It was chemistry.
Yeah.
And very few people actually got through it.
So that's the thing. When you choose the BSc one, you still have those science modules that you have to navigate. And now having to balance that science side and the BCom side. It is fun. It's fun to talk about it now, to say, okay, I did both chemistry, genetics, and economics. It's fun now, but I mean, that also meant I had 13 modules per year. So
13 at varsity.
Balancing, per year
Wow,
on
okay.
average,
Let's take
So the only way to do that was to study all night.
Sometimes I had to pull. Most of the time, I had to pull all-nighters and find ways to make sure it works. I couldn't rely on Red Bull or nor afford it on a daily basis.
exactly.
Yeah.
So find ways to make it work. Yeah.
So you basically lived at the study center.
No, and funny enough, I never could study at public places.
Oh,
And
okay.
I shared a room in first year, but I always studied in my room. I enjoy studying in my own comfort area. I tried the study center, but you need to find what works for you.
Yeah,
So I am disciplined enough to not fall asleep with the bed right there. So I just sit and study, and hence you can't be putting your feet in ice water in public.
Exactly.
Oh,
That's a
and you
trick
hear
my mom taught
stories.
me, by the way.
Is it?
She also did that. So I took it from her, and it worked.
Wow.
Ran with it.
But I like the word that she used now. She said discipline.
Discipline.
And I mean, varsity is all about discipline.
Yeah.
There's so many distractions. There's so many things, other things that you could get pulled away from your studies with or for. But discipline is exactly what you need in order for you to really get through varsity.
Peer pressure is on another level there. It's so new, and coming from my kind of background where I didn't even know Pretoria, the biggest place I had seen or city was Bulukwane, and here and there, not all the time. Now you come, and in those days we had what was known as the square,
Yes.
Square,
Yes.
literally across the road.
Yes.
So it was very accessible. But it's a matter of, my mother would say, I don't know how to say it in English, but horses have those things, she calls it maklapis. You just look forward, you focus on what you're doing, and really try but your level best not to fall for that peer pressure, and focus. And I wanted to do it in record time.
Yes.
I really did want it to.
Yes.
It was 4 years, so the BSc Agricultural Economics program is 4 years, so it's an NQ of 8 when you finish, as opposed to the BCom where it was 3 years, and then you can do your honors after. So I didn't have the 4 years. If I didn't do it in 4 years, that meant I had to graduate in 5 years, so it just would be dragging, and I wanted to finish it in the 4 years.
Exactly. And for the most of us, I mean, coming from the backgrounds that we come from, single parents, or even just challenges financially from your home, you can't afford to just be chilling in varsity and wasting time. A lot of us really just wanted to finish, get into the workplace, and offload some of that burden from our parents. So I really get what you're saying. But Kenzie, maybe before we wrap up this, your university story, I remember you had an opportunity to go to the US. Yes, tell us a little bit about that.
American girl.
So there was this module. It was a trading module, agricultural trading. So a lot of our commodities are traded on a formal stocks exchange. It's called the Suffolk Stocks Exchange.
Oh, yes.
So our grains are traded, and there was a module where they had said if you perform well and you outperform, you'd get an opportunity to go to the US. I mean, I knew nothing about this trading, and I said, you know what? I don't think in the near future I'll get this opportunity again. So I'm really gonna try my best. And I took a leap of faith, and I think that's something that you should always lean on. It's not about always about what you can do. Your mental state and what you believe in really should come with you on the journey, because trust me, 13 modules, eyes fit in the eyes. It can't be just you.
Yeah.
You know, you have to believe in yourself for something. So I went home, told my mom, I'm getting a passport. Even before they announced how it was going to happen, but I told myself I'm going to be the one that's being chosen to go to the...
You even got a passport before.
I got a passport
Faith
before.
the size of a master's suit.
As a man believer.
Exactly.
So I don't remember the abbreviation, but it's PMA Fresh Produce Expo in the United States. And UP runs this program where they take two best performing to the States. I don't know if they still run it now, but I know a few years before me and after me they did that. So for my year, I'm not going to disclose the year, I got to be one of the candidates that got to experience California, Anaheim. So I even went to Disneyland, and there, what was exciting about the opportunity is that the universities that go is UP and Stellenbosch University. You get to network with some of the people there, so networking comes back again. I met a guy that I had a conversation with last year in the citrus industry for something that I needed, that I met there. I don't remember where I met him from, but then I remembered, we both went to the States. You know, you get to build those connections even across the seas. I mean, internationally, you get an opportunity to network broader than where we would traditionally network. I still have some of the people on Instagram. I can reach out, and so that was very exciting. Went to Disneyland. First flight ever. It was 21 hours long.
Yeah.
Literally the first time.
How many movies did you watch in that flight?
Yeah.
I was too scared. I kept trying to fall asleep. It was the first time. And funny, okay, when I tell this story, my husband says it's made up, but I'm pretty sure our plane got struck by lightning. It was just too much happening. The turbulence was bad, so I think I watched a few, but I kept trying to fall asleep. But yeah, it was a very good opportunity.
Oh, there's only one. Did they clap when the plane landed? Did the people inside clap? Because that's when you know if it's been a turbulence.
It was right at the beginning, and 13 hours later, I think we were just all like, let's just go.
Okay.
Yeah. The reality of a journey or rather my journey. Let's take it from there. So this is Nkhensani. She has an idea of how things should ideally look after graduation. So the big day comes, or even before that. So what happens is that you graduate the following year.
Yes.
So when you finish your degree, ideally you should have you want to have secured employment. That reality really hit me very hard when I took out, I started applying for jobs, started compiling CVs, and there were no answers. It was with regrets. I received a lot of regrets in my early career journey. So graduated, it was all nice, cum laude. But
We had to throw that in there. Come on.
No, we have
Where
to go.
number
We have
is?
so
to
it did happen for me in terms of academics, but I didn't land the Agricultural Economist role until I think is it 7 years later, because graduation 2014 only became an Agricultural Economist in 2021. So that promise took a little bit longer. But I think what I would want to communicate with this is that it's different for everyone. And what worked for me is that I humbled myself and started somewhere. I worked for a research council while I attempted my first master's. That's another conversation for another day. It never really got finished, but that's the reality of how life is, you know. So that didn't come to fruition, but then I went for these graduate programs. You know, I pushed hard. I went for multiple graduate programs with a lot of institutions, and ultimately landed a graduate program opportunity. But even in that, it didn't guarantee me agricultural economist as the start of the career. So how that transition is that I went to become to work in a regional office for business banking, and I learned skills that I thought would never really add value for me as an agricultural economist. And then as the dream almost died. It almost died in 2020 when COVID hit. I finally almost landed an opportunity with one of the esteemed organizations, and with COVID and everything, they had to stop the process. But in that, I pushed on, as difficult as it was, and that's why I always say it needs to be more than your own dedication. You have to have faith in something else. You need to have faith in something in your life. So I soldiered on, and it came in 2021. The dream job finally came. And when I got there, surprisingly, those skills that I always thought, you know what, I'm never going to need for my ultimate dream job, are what set me apart as an agricultural economist.
What skills are those? So
I was a more of a credit analyst. Okay. I was a credit analyst for banking agricultural clients. It wasn't even agricultural clients then. I went more business. So I think my last credit analyst role, we were more in the Nelspruit region. So we did a lot of timber. We did it's a different industries. It was purely business. But that taught me skills. I can communicate with clients.
Yes.
Things that I wouldn't have known, but I can read financial statements. I can look at a business case and say, okay, are we comfortable motivating for this person to get this loan? You know, so those skills I took with me to another financial organization where I understood the front part of the business while I applied the economics part of the business. So ultimately, I know why we do the work that we do, because it's for real people that are trying to run businesses. And ultimately, that informed my couple other degrees after that. So the first master's didn't work out. I went and did a professional qualification in strategic management, and that was in 2021. And I recently completed my master's degree, strategic management. So more of a business view. So not economics, but having that amalgamation of skills, I think has built who Nkhensani is. And in the career world, and I think I appreciate where I am, and it speaks to what Koketso said. You shouldn't just be married to what you decided in grade 9.
Yes.
Do what works for you. Not everyone's journey is the same. So mine was a bit different, but ultimately we are here where we are, and perhaps it might be a bit premature to announce, but I am moving out of the economics world to more credit side. To
talk about diversity.
Yes, so I value that in
soon you'll be a member of a board.
Hopefully.
Please remember us.
Please remember. Hopefully, we would be happy to see that.
Wow. So like what you said, Koki, earlier on, that it's not a linear path. I don't know whether it's hyperbola or
it's not on a ladder.
It's not a function either.
Not a function, it's just white noise.
Doesn't qualify.
Yeah.
But I think I like what you said, because even when you did not get what you initially wanted for, you went for the next best thing. You did not just wait or lived in despair.
Yeah.
So that is maybe a message to all the other young economists, because a question that we get a lot is from people who have studied economics. They want to be economists, but they maybe work in a bank, facing clients or doing this and that. But what you're saying now is that all of that experience can actually make you a richer professional when you ultimately get the role that you want. So you should not despise it. You should do it wholeheartedly, build connections. Yes, respectfully.
The frontline people that I think that's something that really sets you apart. Being humble and learning from the people with experience, no matter the degree and the background.
Yeah.
it really gives you that wealth of knowledge and builds that connection going back there. You know, and they advocate for you in rooms that you probably wouldn't be in. And they've been there for longer, so respect is one thing that I carry with me. And you can't really say you love your colleagues. The next best thing that you can do is respect them.
Yes.
That's the currency that, you know, you give, for lack of a better word. We respect each other. So I think that's something that worked for me. I've seen other graduates that I got in with that way. I'm a graduate and you wonder where they ended up, but because in life you navigate life because of people.
Yeah.
The graduate and the degree itself cannot put you in rooms that you ultimately maybe don't even qualify yet. So how you navigate life and with people.
Yeah.
So master's journey, I was very encouraged to see you graduate during my journey. It really, yes, it really, you know, you shared your journey and so openly, and I think it was so encouraging, because what you don't realize is that some of us were in the thick of I had done literature review, I was collecting data now, and that's one of the most challenging stages as well. You know, I did a qualitative study, interviews, you have to sit and transcribe. Yes, but that really helped me with my MPhil. That was only a year. So within a year, I had to do coursework. I had to do the research. So it was an intense year.
And you were working.
I was working.
And you have babies.
I have children. I have a husband. It was a tough year, but I believe in investing in yourself. You know, take that year and you say, okay, I'm gonna give back to Nkhensani that just this year. And it builds a very important or a very solid foundation for where you go. You are more confident. You read more things that you wouldn't read, books like the Blue Ocean Strategy. You actually shared that book with me. I have it in multiple devices. I actually studied that within my master's, so that really helped me. Yes, because I did strategic management. Your journey as well. As when we're speaking about master's degrees, this lady sitting here got her whole qualification during COVID and never went for graduation. But that really speaks to, you know, the people you keep around become who you look up to, who you ultimately want to develop. I mean, yes, you assimilate with those kind of people. So it also matters who you spend your time with, even in your career.
Show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
Yes, you know, so that really spoke volumes for me for my master's journey, and I really do appreciate you guys for that.
But we're not gonna let her get away, right? We have masters. Yes, it's good. Yes, well done, Amon. Yes. Okay. Don't leave me hanging.
We do.
We have masters, but we don't have cum laude. Yeah.
Guys,
And she decided to omit that.
Yeah.
No,
Wow, such a humble person.
Of cum laude.
When I can see the cum laude collector.
But I have to say, let's bring it back home. Even if you don't have a cum laude, you know what? It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's nice to have, but it's how you are able to navigate your career. At the end of the day, whether you had 7 distinctions, you passed 61, it's the skills and the soft skills that you learn. And as an economist, you need to be able to articulate yourself well. You learn more connections. Who do you, like what we were talking about? So it really doesn't matter. It's a nice to have, really. What I'm trying to say, to get to. Yeah.
Good.
Well done.
Well done.
Yeah, inspired. I know you said our stories inspired you, but today I think we are inspired, and hopefully a lot of people who watch these videos will also be inspired. And that is the whole aim of this channel. That is why we are also trying to bring in more people to say, let's share our stories. You might not be able to contact a person directly, but at least through all the social media things, then it's possible to do that.